Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Prezzo.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Beefo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We are on the road again. We are close to the Lubie homestead, so he is never that far from one newborn Luca, Lubitz Reyes. But we are at Eddie and Vinny's.
Yes, sir.
Coastal Italian cuisine in Coral Springs, Sample Road, with the ever busy, elusive Eddie Pozzuoli of P Hospitality. And I don't know who's more sleep deprived these days, whether it's Lubie, the new dad, or you, because
We've had 3 children this year.
you had 3 children.
Yes, you have.
Bouncing baby restaurants.
You really have, yeah.
And I got to tell you, I don't know what kind of masochist you are, because every time I look on the internet and look up on your socials, you're like taking over and opening and reopening new restaurants. What's going on in your world, Eddie?
In my brain or in my world?
Both.
It's been a long, summer. We, when just things pop up and, we create relationships, and it just happened that a few opportunities tended to,
Things pop
come
up.
back to back, and
Success
and
breeds success.
we're fortunate that we were able to have 3 successful openings in 1 year.
Well, let's talk. Let's do a recap, because I can't even keep track
Yeah,
anymore.
I forgot it was
It's,
3.
Okay, so first of all, we had where we're sitting right now,
Mhm.
Eddie and Vinny's, right in March. I guess it was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
The luck of the Italian, so to speak.
Mhm.
But yeah, that opened up here in March, and things are doing well here.
Yeah, it's been great here, and it's been well received. The city's really enjoying the different spin on Italian that we did compared to a lot of the other restaurants in the area, and it's
Not your typical red sauce joint. This
Exactly.
is more of a a coastal Italian. They're
Mhm.
calling it.
yeah,
Lots of
with the entertainment, the bar scene. It's kind of like the total package, and something to do in the area, so that you don't have to drive all the way east to have a place where it's got a nice bar, it's got live music, and and a great great dinner.
And then number 2 came along, Dear Olivia, right up the
Mhm.
road with your partner, Paul Greenberg. And that was the last time we saw you was kind of opening week.
Mhm.
And it was, I don't want to say a madhouse. It was controlled chaos. And it seems to be doing very well.
About 70 chaos, 30 controlled.
Right. And that opened up early August. And again, things are going gangbusters up
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
it's been great over there. It's kind of hit that niche that we were looking to hit over there, and that locals place where you can go on a Monday afternoon for lunch, or you want to go grab a quick dinner with your significant other on a Friday night while you've got a babysitter, kind of everything in between, see a game on the weekends, just that place you can go and feel comfortable any day of the week, and get a great meal, whether it be a burger or a steak.
Yeah, and those smash burgers, again, some of the best smash
Mhm.
burgers
Yeah,
that
fantastic.
I've had. And I'm not the biggest smash burger fan, but when I get a good one, I know it when I taste it, and that is a spectacular one. And all the other,
Yeah, it's been
Thanks.
probably the most well-received menu item there,
Hmm.
by a long shot. Just for a comparison, the smash burger, I think the first month of us being open, we did like 1,800 of them.
holy
Oh,
sh-
jeez.
that's a lot of smashing.
So, and the next closest menu item, I think, was like 350.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So the
People
runaway
love the
winner.
smash
All right,
burger.
next
So-
time that the Sun Sentinel has like a
Yeah, it's gotta
smash
be up there for
burger,
a
best
burger.
smash burger competition.
Oh yeah,
I
we're
know
gonna
what
be
I am
entering
going
into
to be.
all the burger competitions and
Yeah, you have
everything.
to.
We got to get our
That's
friend
fantastic.
Seth Gonzalez,
gotta get Burger Beast out
Beast
there,
up
yep.
there. I don't know if you know of, based in Miami, a burger specialist. They call him the Burger Beast. All right, and then baby number 3 is all basically being delivered today. Tell
Mhm.
us about that.
Right now we're going through labor.
Flashbacks.
So in the beginning of summer, we connected with a family we had known, about for years, and being that I live in Deerfield, I frequented their restaurant.
Okay.
And we ended up connecting, and they have a 50-year-old restaurant that was opened in 1975 by
The family
Bob,
patriarch.
who's the father, and built up over the past 50 years, and last year they decided that they wanted to buy the building across the street,
Okay.
which was the former BurgerFi / yogurt shop.
Okay. Right.
Right
This
next
is
to
right on
Whale's
the
Rib.
beach in Deerfield
Mhm.
Beach, next to the Whale's Rib, and it was a pizza place, but now it's being
So yeah,
reborn.
they've evolved over the years. It started as a breakfast place actually
wow,
in
okay.
'75,
and it's called Amante's now.
Yep.
Okay.
And then it changed to a pizza place, and then it was called Bob's Pizza, and then over time, and I want to say in 2005-ish, they rebranded, renovated, and added some more square footage, and then changed. They had like Bob's Pizza on one side and a Monty's restaurant on the other.
Okay.
And now
They've
with the purchase of this building, it's
bought
kind
the
of all
building.
merged
Always
together.
buy the dirt that is
Yeah,
number
if you
one
can.
on the rule if
Yeah,
you can.
they
So-
bought a beautiful building there, and built out a magnificent restaurant.
Okay.
And
and they brought you
we
in.
we connected in the beginning of the summer, and our company helped take it over the finish line, partnered with them, and now
you can
as
help
of
operate it.
as
So
of
do you,
today
like,
at
run
5
it?
o'clock we open.
5 o'clock
Oh,
grand
wow.
opening. Everybody give
God.
them a little grace, okay? I don't want to see any bad reviews on the Let's Eat South Florida group. I want to see people going in and supporting a great local family that's been.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't realize it's been there 50 years.
It's got
I
to be one
don't-
of the longest standing restaurants
Yeah.
in the county.
Especially
I got to
that
put it on
area.
my list because I
That
have
area,
a running list of places that have been around more than 40 years. We'll have to consider it for
Iconic
our
eateries. Yeah.
iconic eateries edition that we go around and we do once a month with our great friend Andy Cagnetta from Transworld Business Advisors. But you know what? I gotta plead ignorance. I don't spend a lot of time in that
The
Deerfield
Deerfield
Beach
area, yeah.
little nook area.
And
but
it's funny because we
so
live,
popular,
we're
right?
so close to there, and we don't go to the beach that often either, as funny
Right.
as that sounds. But being there, being there through the build out the past few months, and now actually working through the friends and family, and seeing the amount of foot traffic, even in the pre parts of season, it's truly like a really, really
Well,
cool place.
Yeah, it's
I
a great
love
area.
that area because
It's a
that
great area.
Deerfield Beach, it has that old Florida
Yep,
vibe
yep,
where it's
like the
low
Keys,
slung. They
very-
have the zoning restrictions. It's not towering high rises.
Mhm.
And it's that little pocket, that cluster that, you got the Embassy Suites there. And then you've got some classic places like the Whale's Rib
Rib. Yep.
and Amante's. And, it used to be Bob's Pizza, but now Amante's Italian is reopening. And then some other places are opening. And I like that because as we've seen down in Lauderdale by the Sea with our friends at Taco Craft and Even Keel, when you get that cluster of a lot of restaurants,
Mhm.
it brings a lot of people
Oh yeah,
in.
for sure. It's going to be, everybody's complimenting each other too. That's the nice thing, is like that nobody's competing against one another for the same cuisine. So everybody's a little bit different in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just been a really, really cool experience being kind of being a part of that opening
Yeah.
in where the city that we live in.
And it's the old rising tide, literally on the
Mhm.
beach there. You got rising tides,
Oh, yeah.
king tide, but it lifts all boats, and everybody can have their piece of the pie. And some people one night are going to want to get some, classic, fish sandwich at the Whale's Rib, and some people going to want to have their. Are they doing pizzas?
Oh, yeah.
So you've got
Yeah,
pizza
so we
there.
still have pizzas. We're gonna do slices at the bar
Mhm.
for
Oh,
the dinner
nice.
time, and then we'll have 12-inch pies served at the tables. So it's
Okay.
like more like,
More
I
like
don't
a
want to say
personal
personal, but
appetizer.
yeah, like a
pizza.
shareable
Yeah,
kind of thing.
because you don't want to fill up on just pizza. You want to have a,
A
if
bit
you're
of
going with the
everything.
four
So-
top, everybody has a little slice, and then you move on to the main
Exactly,
course.
and like some of the menu items on there are we've brought back from the previous place, but also Chef Jeff jumped in.
Chef
Oh,
Jeff
nice.
is
Again,
helping you
and,
out, and anytime he's involved, that dude,
He's kind of added a great little spin on some of the some of the newer items that we put on there. So we have like a paying homage to the past, but also
moving forward,
we dabbled in a little bit of newer stuff as well, which over the past few days of friends and family has been like very well received.
So,
Nice.
can you give any examples? What are some of the newer?
So he did a salmon crudo,
Mm.
which which wasn't there, and it's been like gangbusters.
Good.
That between
And
that,
it's light. It goes with the whole
Yeah,
beach motif.
exactly.
Yep,
and
yep.
we added a branzino on the menu, which is fantastic.
throw
That
the
wasn't on
branzino,
there,
yep.
and local yellowtail snapper. And,
Oh, nice.
it's just bringing some local seafood, and kind of still maintaining the red sauce
I was gonna
Italian,
ask,
but
yeah.
also having some fresher options where
Right.
it's, or lighter options, I
lighter
guess is the best
side,
way to put it.
yeah.
So that if anybody doesn't want to, go red sauce heavy, they can divert a little bit.
That's nice. And I'm sure they have a nice array of salads also.
Salads are great.
Yeah.
And, one of them being what was brought over is Bob's chop salad. That's like,
Okay.
that's a salad on the
Classic.
beach. Like everybody
Yeah.
goes for Bob's chop salad.
Okay.
So
I love a good Italian chop salad. Does it have like the meats and the stuff in there?
it doesn't have the meats, but it's, it's just got a lot of vegetables.
I was gonna say a
and
lot of veggies.
Mhm.
light and bright. We love that. Again, it's going to be opening tonight, 5 p.m. What are the usual hours? Is it lunch and dinner?
So yeah, beginning next week will be lunch and dinner. So tonight's our, our first being open for dinner, and also happy hour as well. So we'll be, I want to say it's 11 to 10 during the week, and then 11 to 11 on the weekends.
Nice.
And we'll keep the bar open a little bit later, and
not closed Mondays or anything. 7 days on the
7 days
beach,
a week.
especially during season.
Yeah.
Everybody's going out to the beach there, so that's great. So that's Amonte's. Do you know the formal address or
2009 Northeast 2nd Street, I
Okay,
believe.
but it's that whole area there that kind of curves around. It's the hot spot of Deerfield Beach, right along the beach there. You can't miss it. Man, I'm exhausted. So that's 3. You've launched 3 restaurants. I tell you what, if Elon Musk wants to get to Mars quicker, he should hire you.
Eddie
Between
Pozzuoli.
you and Mark Falsetto, you guys are such go-getters that you're always hustling and opening things. You could get us to Mars. You could probably even get us to Pluto by the
There
end
you
of
go.
the year or
I
something.
feel like my brain's in Pluto right now.
So are you
Might already
still
be there?
So how? Because I asked you this when we first started doing stuff with you, because you had what I thought was a nice number of establishments. Then you've now added 3 more just this year alone. Do you still bounce around to all of them? How do you? Because Prezzo, there's one all the way up in Palm Beach.
Palm Beach Gardens,
And then we're
Prezzo,
here,
Boca. I saw you
which
took
is-
your kid there the other day.
Yeah, I was there yesterday. We're the nice thing about opening restaurants in the summertime is that that's the slow season for 3 of our other restaurants. So
Right.
Okay.
they're not as I don't have to
Inundated.
be
Crazy
I don't
as
have to be
hectic.
there as much to help facilitate anything. And the teams that we have at all those restaurants are truly fantastic.
In
So
place.
knock on wood.
Yeah.
And now that we're kind of getting ready for season, now we're starting to ramp up, rehire, and just kind of get ready for the craziness that comes to Palm Beach County for the
season.
next 5 months.
Yeah, we're almost at the marking line. Sometimes it used to be like stone crab season, October 15th, when you start to see snowbirds coming back. And in Fort Lauderdale area and Broward, it's really kind of like the boat show. And once the boat show is here, it
End
kind
of
of
October,
opens the
November.
floodgates. But here out west, again, not as much seasonal resident. I mean, you've got year-round residences, and among the things that we've got going at Eddie Vinny's, I see this placard in front of me: Friday afternoon lunches at 11:30 a.m.
Nice.
And Thursday is ladies' night, and I'm looking at it now. It says $8 wine by the glass, $9 premium spirits, which everybody loves a premium cocktail for under $10 these days. And then you've got this the signature girl dinner that you do here, which I don't know. Can I come in? Can I be like? I don't know if the governor allows it anymore.
You can identify as one if you
identify as a
want to.
woman to get this $30?
I'm not going to ask you to prove it.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Oh,
God
God.
forbid.
But tell us about the popularity of the girl dinner. What's in it?
It's so funny because as a chef Jeff looked at that and was like, "What are you guys doing?" And
You're
then
just combining a lot of weird stuff together.
but then he's also very with it with like the trends and whatnot, and started seeing like more and more on the social media and all these
Not a
restaurants
formal.
doing a Caesar salad with pasta and fries and a martini, and it's like none of the flavors work, but
Right.
like
But
that's
people
just like
love
That people want.
it.
My
is
wife's a big fan
so
of it.
popular.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, you come in on a Thursday night and you see like a 10 top of women out for a girls' night or whatever, and everybody's got the same thing. They've got their pasta with the Caesar salad and the truffle fries and the martini.
Right. An espresso martini.
Yep.
It's the vodka pasta. It's the French fries
Ooh.
with the little truffle dusting and a
Okay.
Caesar salad.
Oh
That's
my
for
God.
$30.
My wife would. That's the exact. And
And it's like a little
and
portion
now
of
she
each.
can drink here and there now.
Yeah.
And there
Oh
used
my
to
God, I
be
have to
rules
tell her about
against
that. Her and
double
her friend will do it.
starches, like a potato and pasta. But again, like you said, all rules out the window.
That's
That's
it.
okay.
That's great.
And if
It's-
it's a hit,
That's funny. That's
So
like
the
perfect
one
combo.
thing we've learned over the past few years is social media. It's not necessarily how things taste as much as it is about social media.
Yeah,
being-
yeah,
well, if people
making
come
things
in
popular.
and they keep
And-
coming in for it, then it's working.
And it all tastes great, but do I think it goes together as like dining out? Not necessarily, but like,
I love the
It-
honesty,
but it
because
works. You know, it's
I'm telling
funny.
my wife would like that exact
can't-
combination.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
She would. She would like that combination. I would want a piece of meat in there. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
I'm the same way. Yeah.
or a piece of fish. But fine, I can't lie. All those things you guys
substitute one of
do
those
really well.
Smash burgers for the well, actually, yeah. If you get rid
You
of the
gotta add
vodka
a smash
pasta,
burger.
but no, yeah, have a.
I mean,
But you know
I
what? But
like
we're
everything
here.
on
We're
that
at
thing, so
Eddie
I
and
wouldn't do
Vinny's.
anything.
You need
But
the Italian food. You need.
I wouldn't touch it. I can understand at first glance going, okay, there's something missing. But those are all things that you guys do extremely well, and I could see
it
that
works.
being a really nice.
So if you get
dish
the girl
plate.
dinner for $30, right, and that includes the espresso martini, can you then add on another espresso martini for $9? Is that considered the premium spirit? How does it work for
So
those who
that'd
maybe
be-
tip back 2 or 3 martinis?
So
and
so
take-
yes, there's discounted martinis on ladies' night. So
Okay.
I don't know if it's $9 for the martini. I think that's just a single liquor drink.
Okay.
I want to say the espresso martini is like $12 for
Okay.
ladies' night.
Because I want to clarify it now for all the people out. Let's eat. I don't want to see people saying it said $9 and they charged the 12.
Yeah.
No, you get your $30. You get your espresso martini.
One thing I've learned over the
package
past
deal.
10 years, you can't make everybody happy.
No. And nor should you even try. You get yes, you're in the hospitality business, so you try to smooth over every
We try.
situation, right? But lately, I haven't been seeing any. Nobody's saying a bad word about any of your places, and of course, we've got the 2 Prezzos, the Corvina, and now the 3 new babies, the bouncing baby. I don't know who's a girl and who's a boy, but it's all. They're all. It's great to see you. Again, so many restaurants have been closing, and I had sad news today. I saw that a really nice family, this Dim Sum Terminal, which is on Commercial Boulevard.
I don't think I get to even try it, and you guys loved it, right?
Well, they had really good dumplings, family-run shop, brother and sister. The parents used to actually own a karaoke lounge in Hialeah, but they retired. But then the mom was still making the dumplings, and it was really good. And I went in there a few weeks ago. However, I could tell they were, struggling a little bit, and we were trying to set up to do a show, and we were down to do it, but then little Luca came,
up,
and then they pulled the plug this weekend. So anyway, point is, a lot of places are struggling, but I'm glad to see that you are opening places and actually finding success. So,
Yeah, it's just a matter of making sure the community that we're opening is really taken care of, because that's who's going to be taking care of us. All the everything outside the community is all great, to add, but making sure whatever restaurants we do open and what we do, we're involved in the local community, and that's I feel is what's most important nowadays, especially with people pulling back on their spending and trying to be a little bit more smart with their money. So we just keep
move forward.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Prezzo. Now you got both locations getting ready for season, and anything.
We got a taste of it this weekend too.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, good.
Nice.
Anything new on the agenda there? Or are you still running the same kind of the specials, the wine Wednesdays?
Yeah, we maintaining kind of the same thing. We shifted in the beginning of summer to an all-day type of menu for a couple reasons. One was to help minimize the amount of prep in the kitchen, doing 2 separate menus.
Right.
Just because it's very labor intensive to be prepping. It's almost like you're prepping for 2 restaurants.
Yeah.
And when we try to provide a value to our guests by keeping our prices down, something had to give.
You need to streamline. There needs to be efficiency.
And we needed to make a change there, unless otherwise we would have had to just come way up on menu pricing, and that's not something we want to do.
But you still have maintained your lunch specials, right?
We have lunch specials. We did get rid of the Lunchbox.
Right.
Unfortunately, it was just like many other things, just not feasible for us to keep doing.
Yeah.
Right. But
Oh,
you
it's
have
ridiculous
other
to do.
things.
And we have a lunch special every day. So it's $16, includes a beverage. Whether it's a sandwich, a salad with a protein, a pasta, or each day of the week has a different special. And we're still we still have options for guests that are a little bit more budget conscious.
Right.
But the general restaurant.
Right. And it's still
has
very
shifted a little
reasonable
bit.
between the sandwiches or the salads or
you're not going to find
pizza.
a better value.
And again, the
anywhere.
pasta for the most part is house made. So again, it's another level from the most red sauce Italian places you'd see around town. Like,
So it's good. You've had a couple of family
we've gone there a bunch
functions
of times.
right?
Because it gives you the kind of food I like but it also has more elevated things.
Mm-hmm.
It just like, and the service is fantastic, and the atmosphere is really, really cool.
Great
and
bar, patio.
it's
area,
a really
all
good
that.
vibe. Like again, that's what the P hospitality really brings. Wherever you go, the vibe, the energy, just like the experience from beginning to end is always consistent.
There you
And
go.
I
That's
really
the goal.
appreciate that.
Why don't you write it up and put that on the Let's Eat group?
I've talked about, I did talk about
people. And then we've got Corvina, which I see you getting a little bit of got the club vibe, which I don't necessarily think of Boca as a club town, but you are finding success. You're calling it the Corvina Beach Club, is that right?
Yeah. So the idea with that, we went down to the islands this summer for a quick weekend. You know, my wife and I and with some friends were able to get away, and we went to a couple of these places. They were, great seafood centric restaurants, and they had steaks and whatnot. But the one thing about these restaurants is like at 9:30 ish, like
When it starts to taper off.
yeah, it turns, it's not that it turns into like a nightclub, but it just brings, it elevates or enhances like your dining experience. So you're just finishing dinner, they raise the music up, they put some lights on, and like, you end up having a few more drinks and enjoying your time
Hang out.
there rather than going somewhere else.
Right.
Yep.
And you're doing
And
bottle service?
we're doing like, champagne and bottles of wine and stuff like that. Obviously we can't do we can't do bottled spirits.
Yeah.
But it's a fun experience, and it's just something different for East Boca. Like, back when I was growing up, and there was a restaurant, if you guys remember, called Mykonos.
Yes.
On like 18th Street and Powerline.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of did a very similar thing in Boca. And there's been a couple restaurants over the years that have done it, but I feel like recently Del Rey has sucked a lot of like
Yep. I was gonna say
Right.
the
That
wind
late
out
night,
of Boca.
Yep. Okay.
So the whole goal being in like we're right in the middle of East Boca.
Right.
So there's a need for something elevated where you can go and have a great time later at night. That's not like a college bar.
Right. And this is on Fridays and Saturday nights.
On the weekends, yeah, Friday and Saturday nights only. We have like it's like a 8 p.m. seating. So 7 o'clock the DJ starts, but he plays dinner music.
Yeah.
There's nothing crazy with lights from 7 really till like 9 o'clock.
Okay.
At 8 o'clock is like kind of when the parties start arriving and whatnot, and everybody sits down and orders dinner like it's a normal dinner.
Right, and you're kind of turning it on its head because a lot of times there's been the happy hours, the social hours, and you're still doing the happy hour there at Corvina at the bar. You've kind of tapered off on that, which we called you Crazy Eddie for because you had it going for so long.
For like
the social hour where every seat in the house was 50% off, but you've pivoted away from that now that we're going into season, right? And you're saying let's cater to people, get them in later, right?
Yeah. So the one thing with Corvina later at night, and most restaurants in East Boca later at night, is you're not getting like a very strong 9 p.m. seating or anything like that. And it's a huge opportunity, and seeing the success of a lot of these restaurants out in Del Rey, and I've got friends that live 5 seconds from Corvina that are driving to Del Rey to go to these experiences.
Later on. Right.
And I'm like, what the heck are we doing? Why don't we just
fill the gap?
Yeah, like why don't we do that here? So we launched it last weekend, and it was great.
The video I saw on IG looked like everybody was having
everybody had a
time.
blast. It was a great crowd.
I would watch out though. I think Steve Morderano might come after you for copyright infringements. Go, cuz, what are you doing? That's my you got the any disco balls, or it's just kind of
no
a
disco
DJ?
balls.
Okay.
No, it's DJ. We have a great lighting system that we put in, which will change the entire vibe and changes the entire vibe of the restaurant.
Nice.
But there's no disco ball reflecting lights or anything like that.
Will we see Chef Jeff dancing?
Yeah. Maybe.
I think
depends how many Kettle One
moves.
martinis he has.
I think he's got one of those guys. Oh man. All right, well, this is it. This is the man with all kinds of plans, and he's opening I'm not even going to ask what's next, but this Amante's thing caught me by surprise when I saw that you were working on it and that you were actually getting it up and running and open as of today. Job well done.
Been hard at it. So
yeah. Sleep deprived. Do you ever see your kids? Yes.
I saw them this morning.
Okay.
I saw them this morning. Hey there.
So, quick high and by. And
it's not an easy life, but as the Hyman Ross said in The Godfather, this is the business we have chosen. So this is it. And you're getting ready for hopefully a huge season. And again, I know it has been a challenging summer for
Yep,
a lot
a
of
lot of people.
restaurants, a lot of business.
It's been a hard summer everywhere for sure. And,
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like you got to keep your head down and try to keep innovating and
Right.
do something different and keep bringing yourself to the top of the, what's being talked about. Otherwise, you kind of just
Get forgotten.
Yeah.
No, you got to keep moving forward and you keep plowing ahead. And you're very active with all the social media. You know how to keep trying to innovate and come up with the new
Well, and
ideas.
then being involved in the community, I think,
Yeah.
does a lot. Especially like when we were over at Dear Olivia, they brought all of Parkland was there. Like like that's one thing that gets missed a lot when you're out east. It's just Fort Lauderdale.
Mhm.
So, but in this area, Boca Raton as well, like people are a part of those areas. You guys do a really good job at entrenching yourself
Mhm.
in the community. You're not just there
Well, it's
passing
not like
by.
these, some of these major, food groups that are based all in different cities or the private equity. And I mean, you lose something there, and
Yes.
you're involved with the community. I mean, you're got your family.
Your families
growing
are
up here,
there,
so
and-
you know people from just because you grew up here yourself, and your father and your family was in the business. So I think that's very, very important. So keep it going.
We're
That's it.
moving.
That's it. Let's take our first break, and then I've got some other questions for you. I had a topic yesterday. Some people chimed in. I was talking about desserts, some great desserts around town, and right here at Eddie and Vinny's, there is a great dessert. Talking about the butter cake, but we'll
Ooh.
get into
Oh,
that.
my wife loves it.
Not just at Eddie and Vinny's.
Oh yeah, you got it.
No, the Prezzo.
yeah.
Oh, Prezzo. Yeah,
Prezzo had it. That's where we had it for the first time. Was at
Corvina,
Prezzo.
Monty's.
Oh, you do have it everywhere.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, we got it
Oh,
everywhere.
okay. All right,
fantastic, yeah.
We'll talk about some sweet stuff and more. But before we get to the first break, I gotta talk about the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. It is coming up. Before you know it, right around the corner in the new year, January 19th to the 25th, going to be a whole great lineup of, I guess, intimate dinners around town, some other seminars, food, cooking classes, all those things, along with the big ticketed events. Go online right now to vlfoodwine.com. Phil and Kate working hard, organizing. It's getting bigger and better every year. A testament to that is the VIP tickets for the grand tasting is already sold out.
Yep.
But you can still get tickets. General
Yeah, the
admission.
J is great.
I mean, that grand tasting event. Have you guys ever been involved?
I think we're doing it.
I was gonna say
Oh,
you
good.
are in Fort Lauderdale.
Good,
This
all
is
right,
the greater.
then.
I was gonna bring it up. This is
I-
greater Fort Lauderdale. Dear Olivia's in greater
Mhm.
Fort Lauderdale. Like
Yeah,
I
no,
think
I'm
actually
glad-
both restaurants are in it this year.
I was like, it would be
Good.
perfect
It's-
for you guys to be involved.
Not only is it good for marketing because
a lot of people.
a lot
A
of
lot
come
of people,
through,
and there's people that go all around the
and-
area.
and a lot of people who live out west.
Yep.
So it's great for the the restaurants that are
Yep.
out here in the western part of the county to
Like,
get
you guys would kick
involved.
butt there.
And that grand tasting, I tell you, I mean, so many different great bites and
Yep.
sips, great wines, great cocktails from local vendors. And again, it's going to be on Saturday, January 24th. Get your tickets today.
Wow.
GA still available at vlfoodwine.com. Of course, the Friday night is the barbecue event. Thursday night, the Asian themed walk and roll. All kinds of great stuff. Go online right now, vlfoodwine.com. Makes the perfect gift for the food lover in your life, whether it's Hanukkah or Christmas, or get it started early and just give it out as a Halloween
Exactly.
treat instead of getting a trick. vlfoodwine.com. All right, let's take the first break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some desserts and other assorted food adventures. We're not going to talk football today.
Thank God.
All right, we probably will, but at the very end. Oh, and we got a contest winner too. We'll get to that and more after these words.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligan's, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at wans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. The finest quality, warm hospitality, and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. Same great Thai food, beautiful new location. I'm talking about Eat Thai, now in Boca Raton at 6299 North Federal Highway. Thai cuisine is having a moment, and Chef Sopanut makes some of the best in South Florida. A hip and modern spot with authentic Thai street food and some innovative twists. The spicy oxtail soup, Thai bouillabaisse, shrimp ceviche, and classic noodle dishes will wow you. And they now offer full liquor and craft cocktails too. Open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Go to eatthaiflorida.com for more information. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We are at Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian Cuisine. They are open for dinner most every night, and they're open for lunch on Fridays at 11:30. I'm having a self-imposed fast today because I ate so damn much over the weekend. But we're here with Eddie Pozzuoli of P Hospitality, and we're catching up with his world. It's a very busy world.
Yes, sir.
And I guess, we've got the new Amante's Italian restaurant. It's not new. It's a
50 years old, reinvented.
Well, it's kind of like Anthony Bruno did down at Runway 84. Mark Falsetto came on. They reimagined it, and I was there on Saturday night. And it was Val's, my girlfriend's sister-in-law's 60th birthday. We had a nice group of six of us came in there. And, well, first of all, Anthony Bruno, he was around. He was in there and holding court. Anthony, of course. And he looks at me
And he kind of said, "I'm mad at you." I was like, "What did I do, Anthony?" And you don't want to make
No,
Anthony
no,
Bruno mad at you.
No,
Believe
no,
me.
no.
He goes, "You and Paulie, you got to shut up about the Ozempic." I was like, because I talk about it here, and I was on Paul Cashanova's morning show last week, and he was talking about Ozempic.
Oh, he's on it.
I don't
or
know if
he's
he's
thinking
on it,
about
but
it.
he was having a audience discussion,
He's
and I
thinking
kind
about
of piped in about how I'm on it
Yeah.
and how it's done wonders for my A1C and my
Yeah.
weight. And Anthony just looks at me, and goes, "You and Paulie, you gotta just shut up about this stuff." I was like, he goes, "I'm very happy that your health is good and that your numbers are good, but this is hurting my business. People go on this stuff, they don't eat anymore."
They don't eat anymore.
And I was like, "No, Anthony, you don't understand something." I said, "You know how there used to be the show Man v Food?
Yeah.
Well, with me and my Ozempic shot, because you take it once a week and then it slowly wears off, I said, I'm going to start a show called Mayo v Ozempic, because by the time Saturday rolls around, and this was Saturday night, I am just pounding through the food. So I'm defeating Ozempic." Do you notice that? Do people have they been ordering smaller or sharing more? And do you attribute it to Ozempic, the economy? And how do you, I guess, besides coming up with girl dinners?
I think there's always going to be people that want to eat, whether it be for a celebration or something. Have we noticed people eating less? I don't know. I mean, we've tried to retool our menus to also accommodate, be a little bit more healthy in some ways, so that people don't feel like they're have to get rolled out in a wheelbarrow.
Look, I don't mind smaller portions. I also don't mind that I'm not embarrassed to ask for a
box,
doggy bag, because a lot of people, they say, when I go, they just leave the half plate of food. Do people take the doggy bags here, or and I remember one place I used to, sometimes people would roll their eyes if I asked for a doggy bag. I was like, no, I'm not ashamed. I mean, like,
we have no issue. I mean, Italian restaurants are infamous for large portions.
Your portions are.
Our portions are big.
We had gone to another fine dining Italian place in the area, very close to when we came here with my family. And the one thing we noticed, prices were similar, quality was great both places. The one thing we were very happy about, and that's why we brought my family here, because they're big fans of bigger portions, was their portions are a lot bigger here. Right. And so we weren't finishing our food. The server was fantastic. We didn't see, that's what makes me feel more comfortable, is when they ask you, instead of going, can I get a box? Then I feel like a jerk off. Like, they asked, do you want to take this home? Do you want to take that home? I was like, I don't know. They're like, well, we have different sides. They were offering options. So it was like, okay. It made me feel like, even though in a fine dining establishment, they know it. You bought the food. Why would you not want to take it with you? So, and again, the portions are bigger. So why would I not? Like, why would I force myself? So
I might as well eat it. I consider it an insult to the chef if you don't.
That's my thing.
If you don't want to take it with you, if you can't finish.
Yeah, if you really enjoyed it, why would you not take it?
Yeah. So, but then getting to the dessert portion of the evening, they have this pistachio cake there. I took a picture of it. I threw it on the Let's Eat group yesterday, and people were just drooling over it. And then I asked people, what's your favorite dessert in town? Because I have pistachio cake there. And then immediately people started chiming in with the butter cake here. And you want to talk about that item? And now it's all
all 6 year
It is. It's just kind of, it came
gooey butter.
Yeah, we brought it in, and
it's like an old school Italian, like a classic thing, right?
It actually originated somewhere. Chef Jeff was telling me it was like in a city somewhere in Central America. They
really,
not Central America, Central USA.
Central USA. Like Midwest.
Yeah, the Midwest.
Yes.
Okay.
He was telling me it maybe Ohio-ish. Like,
it sounds like an Ohio thing. Gooey butter cake.
And
sounds like.
He's probably better to speak to it than
that's
me.
Because you were.
But
okay.
It's one of those things that once you try it, you can't stop.
No, it's great.
And there's a couple ways you can kind of do it, which is cool. That's why we have it at each of the restaurants. One restaurant might have it with a bunch of fruit. Another restaurant, we're going to drizzle it with caramel and ice cream.
And butter cake. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a little bit of, you can do little twists with the cake. And it's been one of those crowd favorites. It's great shareable dessert. And, if you're going to have a dessert, you need to finish strong. You can't just have like you can't just do like a mediocre dessert, because that's the last thing people taste leaving your restaurant. So you want to make sure that whatever you're offering is like
literally leave a sweet taste in your mouth. Yeah. And again, it doesn't have to be overly sweet. And that my favorite desserts are the ones that have that proper balance, that it's not too sweet, but it's like it's just satisfying.
Right.
And the butter cake, the gooey butter cake here, definitely a top 10 dessert around
Oh,
town.
no, it's
Lubie,
fantastic.
do you have any in mind? Because I could rattle off about another 5.
Well, you posted the Ukiah coconut
Ukiah's
cake was
coconut
really
cake.
nice.
Have you made it into Ukiah yet? The
No.
Japanese smokehouse right on the New River, from the team that originally started KYU in Miami.
Mhm.
Chef Michael Lewis, really good guy. But it's his mother. He grew up in Baltimore, and his mother had a coconut cake layered with also kind of like the cream cheese frosting. And I don't like coconut. I don't like the texture of shredded coconut, but I devour that cake every time I go there with a scoop of house-made coconut ice
Yep.
cream.
Sounds good.
It's
No,
really
it's really
good.
good.
The pistachio cake
It's
there,
really good.
your butter
The
cake,
butter cake here is
our friend
fantastic.
Peter's Pizzeria, his pistachio tiramisu
Yeah, that's
that
really
his
nice.
mom
It's
makes
lighter. Yep.
is freaking awesome. And the key lime pie. Tomorrow we're going to be going down to the 305. Our friend Danny
Yeah, the key lime pie
Surfer.
is wonderful.
Key lime pie, which is made actually by the wife of documentarian Billy Corbin, and his wife makes the key lime pies that are sold at Blue Collar. She squeezes the real key limes.
Yep.
I love a good key lime pie. Is there any one favorite dessert? I mean, you're
So I like our olive oil cake here.
I was gonna say olive
you know,
oil cake. I know you guys do an olive oil
So
cake. That's what I was gonna
that's
say.
kind of become my default
Yeah.
here. And we do it with he made like an olive oil gel
Mhm.
that he'll like drizzle on top, and it's just it's one of those
It's a
desserts
different
that
flavor.
yeah,
profile.
people
Nice.
people get a little weirded out when they hear olive oil cake,
Yeah, but it's
but I feel like it's starting to become more and more popular.
No,
but
I mean, you're doing it here. Our friend Reno
I was gonna say at Heritage. Yours
he's-
and Heritage olive oil
He's
cake
famous
is
for
wonderful.
his olive oil cake there. It's becoming a little more popular. And then he also is known for his butterscotch budino. It's
Mhm.
like a pudding.
That was
And
nice.
yeah, Reno's got a couple of good ones.
But I like it because the move to me, especially with the party, I would get the ooey gooey butter cake, and then I would, because they're so like
Oh, you can use the big fancy word, juxtaposed.
the juxtaposition between the
There
two
you
is
go.
wonderful, because the ooey gooey is very sweet. So I someone like me, I eat like 2 or 3 bites of that. The olive oil cake's a lot more subtle. It's a lot more light. So like it's not as overwhelming. So you can get a little bit of both. Like that's why I like both of those desserts.
Yeah. And do desserts. Okay. Because I had my little issues with my blood sugar levels. I'm on my medication, but I still love dessert. And I never used to be a dessert guy, but then I became a food critic. And then, when I
It
was
like
the
finishes a
restaurant
meal.
critic, you have to try the dessert because
Yeah.
it's kind of one of the components of
Yep,
the
yep.
meal that you have to assess. So
Yep.
that kind of got me started down the road to just always having dessert. Are you a dessert guy? And do you find, like, can you put a percentage of, let's say on a Friday or Saturday night when you got people going
And
out
they're
for a
hanging out,
social
yeah, yeah.
occasion? Does everybody order dessert, or do a lot of people pass
So
on?
it depends on the restaurant, number one. But
Mhm.
here at Eddie and Vinny's, most everybody will get a dessert.
Yeah.
I
I don't think we've been here without getting a dessert.
It's more of like, I guess you're expecting a full experience at
Yep.
a restaurant like this versus if you're going to Prezo, it's a little bit more casual.
Yeah.
So you might get an app, you might get a dessert, you might not get either. You
Yeah,
might just
one
go
range.
there and get an entree.
Mhm.
Corvina, we do a decent amount of desserts. I'd say we're 60% of the tables get dessert.
Okay.
And do any of your restaurants have a pastry chef, or you
Mhm.
basically just
Oh, you do?
oversee?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we have a great pastry chef. Her name's Miranda. Actually, she does the desserts for
Most of them? Or-
3. So Eddie and Vinny's, Dear Olivia, and
Right.
Amonte's, actually.
And it used to be each restaurant would have its own pastry chef. But again, when it comes to efficiencies and things like that, I guess it's great when you have a restaurant group and you could just bring in one pastry chef.
Well,
and
and
does
yeah,
a
and like
lot.
like I was saying, like a lot of the desserts, the base is the same, but then
Right.
we'll prep them different types of ways. So like, she'll make everything here, and then we'll bring them to each of the restaurants,
Right.
and they'll finish them in a different type of way,
Mhm.
so that you get a little bit of a different taste profile. But
Right.
you know,
Different plating looks
exactly.
different on the
Yeah.
gram,
Mhm.
because
Different.
it's like you mentioned, a lot of this
Yeah.
these days it's
How
about
it looks. Yeah.
social media and people taking their pictures and then enjoying it down in your belly. So all right, so I'm glad that dessert is doing well. And the other thing, though, it's a double-edged sword, because when they have dessert and coffee, it adds another half hour to the table, and you
Yeah.
don't turn the
Mhm.
tables as much. So
Well, and that's the you factor that in when it comes to like the style of restaurant you're at.
I was gonna
So,
say, here you guys aren't.
here we never rush anybody
give
out of
you a
here.
nice
If,
amount of time
if
here.
we get 2 full turns here, we're very happy.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Whereas if we talk about
Yeah.
some of the other restaurants a little bit more casual,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got to start weighing the pros and cons of
Right.
that person ordering dessert,
Yeah.
because you're like,
right.
well,
They're
I've got
gonna
the four
futz.
top waiting here. I need to turn the
Should be
table.
Especially in Boca.
Like
in
Burns
Boca, in
Steakhouse
Boca.
has their own dessert room.
Like
where
a room.
You move everybody out. And
All
go
right,
in there.
all right.
Yeah.
So we're in another restaurant. We try to get 4 turns, from
Yeah,
4
yeah.
o'clock to 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it's just a different style of dining, and the clientele generally will dictate how quick they want to get in and out. Based on the concept they're coming to.
Right. And one of the things, it was interesting, the Sentinel recently ran a piece and put the question to the group members about, what annoys you about
I was
servers?
quoted in that one.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, I did. That's why I brought it up. But and vice versa, what annoys restaurant workers about guests? And again, it's all about communication and everybody seeing each other's point of view. But one thing that always mystified me is the places where they want to turn the table and it is a busy night, but then it seems like the server disappears when it's time for the check and to pay the check. Is that something that you press home with your servers? Is like, okay, they ordered dessert, they got the coffee, you don't want to necessarily rush them out, but you also don't want people to start like,
It feels like a
searching.
science.
Well, yeah, the problem is a lot of times, and it's that second seating, the server will start trying to do their side work or get off the
for
clock.
tomorrow,
So
right.
they'll go hide in the back, rolling silverware or getting stuff restocked. So it's not that they
They're not
disappear;
as
it's that they're doing
attentive.
something else. But at the same time, if our policy is, if you still have a table active, you're not
you
not in the back doing that. You're
Okay.
paying
Oh,
attention.
Yeah,
so
you
to
got to
them
keep eyes on the table
and make sure that they're taken care of. That
Right.
guest is your guest until they walk out the door.
Mm.
I don't care if they pay and
See-
stay another half hour.
Interesting.
Like you've got to be on top
Is
of that
it
table.
considered a faux pas to drop a check before it's
I was just
requested?
gonna
Because I don't
I
mind
like when it's
if
there.
a server
I'm not gonna
just
lie, I like
says,
when it's
"Here's
there.
your pay, don't rush, pay when you're
Once-
ready," but at least make it.
I hate having to like
available.
hail someone. I'd rather it be there than me having to hail someone.
Once the experience is finished, we actually let our servers know to bring a check, because
Yeah.
if you know they're not going to be ordering more,
Yeah.
and
Right.
their table's cleared, desserts are done, all they have on their table is maybe water and maybe what's left of a cocktail. Absolutely, you drop
Yeah.
drop a
Drop
check
a
and
check and say,
let them
"Let
take
me
their
know when
time
it's
paying
ready."
it.
And then they also, the server should be cognizant of when somebody whips out a
Ready,
credit
do
card
the
or
thing, yeah.
3 credit cards hit the table, then come take it. I guess the other thing, and now a lot of times these more restaurants are putting these QR codes on the actual check where you could scan and pay at the table without involving the server.
I know.
Have you looked into that? Do you have any of that at your restaurant?
Like I know at Dear Olivia used the machine, right?
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah, no,
I think they're using at Dear Olivia. I remember the server coming over with, where
Yeah.
they do the machine and then
The swipe,
can do
the
it right
card
then,
doesn't
the
leave
swipe and
table.
the whole thing, yeah.
And again, as we move into the modern world, and there is more technology available.
I think you do it here.
So we at a couple of the restaurants, we do have the QR code option to pay. That way, we drop a check, so it's not impersonal,
Yeah.
but then the guest can scan it and easily pay with Apple Pay or
Right.
Amazon Pay or
Interesting.
their credit card like immediately,
Right.
and then leave.
My daughter's generation loves that.
They
She
would
hates
love
waiting
that.
around to have them pick up. The
Yeah, and it helps on both sides, because then the table pays at their
Yeah.
leisure and they're out.
Yep.
How do you know it's paid for?
Well, that's the
The
Well, that
tricky
scares
part.
me a little
They
bit.
get up, they pay on the QR code, they walk out the door, and it's like, oh no, they're beating the
yeah,
check.
that's where it becomes a little weird. So you got to look at your POS and see that it's
Oh,
closed
that is-
out.
Okay.
Mm.
One
but-
more challenge for you guys.
Yes, it's we're fortunate that we don't have that in our restaurants.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's possible that can be done.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay. It's one more. There's so many facets to running a restaurant.
We do.
It reminds me why I never want to open one restaurant, let alone six of them. You maniac! You.
we do have the option to the servers have their tablets where
Yeah.
the
Right.
guests will pay on it. They'll put their tip in, and the servers there, they're instructed to either walk away or not pay attention to the guest that's
then get them
filling that stuff out, so they don't feel like they're pressured to
to this. or that.
yeah, exactly. So and that's actually saved a lot of time as far as turning tables are concerned, because then you're getting the credit card, you're going to close it out at a POS terminal, which might be taken by somebody else. Then you're bringing it back, and then you're
Yep.
waiting for the guest to sign it. They don't sign it, and
You have to wait for
Yeah.
that. It's the whole thing.
Is it true or false? I read somewhere that the rules or the actual law in Europe is that the credit card can't leave the table, that you have to have these portable machines to close out tabs, and that that same mandate is going to be coming to
I
the
wouldn't doubt
US
it if
in
it, if it
by
was
2027. I don't know if it's the credit card carriers that are imposing these rules because there's so much fraud.
Well,
or-
that's the big issue is, we still, despite our restaurants being in mostly affluent areas,
Mm.
you're still getting chargebacks claiming fraud every now and then. And
Mhm.
and I think this stuff mitigates it because the person's literally handing you a credit card
Yep.
and you're doing it all table side. So I wouldn't be surprised if we lean more and more into that
the
because
technology, yeah.
Somebody's got to pay for that
Yeah,
meal.
yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah.
why make it us
Yep.
when
Right.
all we did was collect the credit card? And do we have to check every single person's ID? And a lot of nightclubs will do that.
They
You know,
definitely do it. Yeah.
they take a copy of your ID. I've
Yep.
been to places where they fingerprint
Oh
you
wow.
with your ID
Oh my god.
Interesting.
and pre-authorize your card before they even serve you.
Mm.
And it's that a lot of the nightclubs in Vegas will do that because Vegas is such a transient
Quick. Yep,
place.
yep, yep.
Right.
that-
I need to get out of the house more. I guess they might be doing that in Miami Beach.
I
too.
wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah,
If you go to a place and they don't know who you are, they're gonna
Right.
they're gonna do whatever they can to make sure.
Oh no,
that they
they
stay
know who I
protected.
am, and they'll do it even
Even more.
because- all right. Well, this is all fascinating stuff. I know, Eddie, you have got to go. We're going to
You're
take
a
our
busy man.
second break, but we'll let you go because your phone is exploding. I can't. I mean,
He's
it
very
is-
calm for a guy that
it's
knows
He
about
is.
18 things
He,
going on.
he gives me anxiety just sitting next to it.
He's
It's great,
very.
but
He's like,
it's-
hold on.
No, but I wish you continued success. Good luck with the opening.
Yeah, I
of
know how
Monty's.
everything's
That
going so
means
well.
we'll have to come up.
Yeah, we
there.
gotta go do
Yeah,
it.
for
We'll
sure.
have to do a show sometime, especially during beach season, and
Yeah.
have some pizza and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
The ever expanding empire of P
Hospitality
Hospitality.
group. Yep.
Keep up all the great work.
Oh, and okay, so and we are gonna let you go, but Mayo sort of touched on that and then didn't. What are the ideas moving forward? I know with Dear Olivia, there are things you guys were talking about and thinking about, and it does really feel like a place that I could see everywhere in South Florida, to be brutally honest. I know you guys have been really good at, okay, we're doing a lot, but we're trying to be smart about it. What are your thoughts on that with what you have now?
That's kind of the still same outlook on things where we're obviously our emails, especially with the commercial real estate market and multiple restaurants closing.
Yeah.
People are seeing us open, and somehow my email and my wife's email and Paul's email, has just been inundated with
Yeah.
different brokers. Hey, I've
Offers.
got this space.
Right.
I've got this. I've got this. We can do this for you. And we'll look at things, but
Yeah.
right now we're just maintaining and go in the right direction. And when the next thing comes up,
Yeah,
the
take
next
a
thing will come
breather.
up. Yeah.
I want to say that, but I also know they're like every place I walk in that they open up, it's
and
like
And getting
everyone's
it-
stressed out. I'm like, you sure? Because then you need to talk to Eddie and Paul and Eddie's wife because they know the thing that you don't know. Like in the middle of this time of year, you guys are opening places, and every time I've gone into any of them, there's like a nice crowd every time. So
Right.
I'm not gonna tell. I'm staying out of the way. Like you guys seem to know what you're doing.
All right, there you have it. We're gonna again, Eddie and Vinny's here, open for dinner 7 days, lunch on Fridays, ladies' night on Thursday.
Yes.
That's at 10181 West Sample Road. We've got Dear Olivia just up the road in Parkland on University Drive.
Yep.
We've got the two Prezos, one in Palm Beach Gardens on PGA Boulevard. I
Yep.
got that right. And the other on Military Trail
Yep.
in Boca Raton.
Yep.
And then you've got Corvina, Plaza Real South, just south of Palmetto Park. And they've got the Beach Club, the Corvina Beach Club, going Fridays and Saturdays. And last but not least, the new Amante's Italian Restaurant, not the new old, 50 years old, reimagined, and right there on the beach in Deerfield Beach, opening today, 5 p.m. I think I hit it all.
That's it.
I'm exhausted
And I'm
just
heading there
reciting
now.
it.
Well, good
Hopefully
luck
we
today
can
on the
be
opening, yeah.
somewhere with you next month as we get into the full swing of season. And it's always a pleasure to catch up. with
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Eddie.
much for having me.
Yeah. And
Thanks for having us.
let's take the second break and we'll come back. And then me and you will do
We'll
some
wrap things up. Yes, sir.
business. We'll do the contest winner. I have a question to you about this past weekend sporting events.
Okay.
And we'll get ready for Game 7 of the American League Championship Series tonight. Does anybody care here? I guess I want to see Seattle.
So I don't mind Toronto or Seattle. So
I don't know anything about sports.
I know we always leave you out of it.
You got the wrong. You got the wrong
Always
person
leave
on
you
here
out
for
of
that.
All right, let's take the second and final break, and we'll come back to wrap up this edition after these words.
When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa d'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa d'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo the Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, upscale food in a down-home setting, the chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Looking for a real New York slice? Check out Peter's Pizzeria, your neighborhood pizza shop. With 2 locations, 1166 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach and 897 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton. Slices, whole pies, specialty pizzas, heroes, rice balls, salads, pastas, and Mama's homemade desserts. It's New York flavor, Florida made. Originally from Long Island, Peter brings passion and pride to his pizzas. No matter where you're from, you'll feel right at home. Open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner with delivery and takeout. Place your order today at mypeters.com. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years, Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. The kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late-night bites and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a good time anytime, Shenanigans. Great seafood and more at Mignonette, Miami. It's in the Edgewater neighborhood at 210 Northeast 18th Street, close to the Arch Center and Heat Arena. Mignonette is open every day for dinner, and it serves the freshest fish and raw bar items with a daily selection of the finest oysters around. Chef owner Danny Surfer and his team are eager to please. Mignonette is Michelin Guide recommended and Lunchbox approved. For reservations and information, go to mignonnettemiami.com. Okay, we're back on the Lunchbox. We let Eddie go because he's a very busy man. got Mike Lubitz here. I was going to pose a question to him, but first let's get the contest results out of the way. And we did have a Lunchbox brunch bash at Gulfstream 10 Palms yesterday. Another fantastic time. Another great
so
Sunday
sorry
buffet.
I missed it, man.
So,
I
it was
love those so much.
I went to Gulfstream 3 days in a row,
I'm
which
sure it
makes
was
me
a
a
tough
very
weekend
happy
for you.
gambler. I mean, I didn't have the greatest luck with my horses, but I had a good week last week at poker tables, both
Nice.
in the private game, and also I spent a little time after the show on Friday in Dania. So it funded my horse racing losses. But anyway, it was great that the Saturday event was a complete sellout. The Taste at the Track, which was the Caribbean themed and all kinds of rum drinks. You would have liked it. They had an espresso martini made with rum, and it was the high end stuff. I forget. Oh God, I'm blanking on the name.
Rum.
It had
the
fountain that had like the little fountain of rum pouring out, and the guy actually it would just hold up the glass. It was actually the espresso martini with rum that was pouring out of this fountain.
Jeez.
And it's not called Pacifico, but all right, I don't want to get hung up on that. But it was a great event. And food wise, oh my God, they had these chicken wings, jerk chicken wings that had, I call it proper spice because I hate when it's too timid. Like I wish Nikki Mohan would have been there. She would have been very happy because there was this the Haitian griot, the fried pork with the pickles that was spicy, and then the Jamaican wings. And these wings, they didn't split them; they served them whole.
Oh,
so
the thing, when you're doing the islands, that's how they serve
so
it.
It was actually both the flat and the drum together. They didn't unhinge the joint, and that was fantastic. Diplomatico is the name of the rum.
Okay,
Diplomatico, and all kinds of good stuff. So Saturday was great. Yesterday was nice, and on the buffet, besides having the usual carvery and the great desserts and the ice cream and the omelet station, they also had a pizza bar with breakfast pizzas.
Really?
Like with a pizza
that like
Ken used to do
I know,
it
I
over
love
at the Foundry, like with some scrambled eggs and bacon on a pizza and cheese. 2 breakfast pieces, 2 different varieties. And it was, you know what? I got to be honest. I didn't touch it because I was like full from Anthony's. I went went no carb. Okay. I did have some ice cream at the end. But anyway, it was a lot of fun yesterday. Thanks to those who came out from the Lunchbox contest winners, and also just some viewers took advantage of the
maybe
discount.
at the next one we'll have our the third of the Lubitz Reyes clan at the next one.
Jesus, are you working on that already?
No, I'm saying maybe Luca will join us at the next one.
I thought you were already
we're not doing all
planning
that.
your next kid. I was like,
I'm just getting used to
like
the
Eddie
5
with
hours
the restaurants. Enough already. Just
No.
give yourself
the one kid for now is enough.
Okay,
but I'm just saying, like the next time we do it, you would think it would be in the next year. Like once he gets his vaccines.
Oh, good.
Which he does a lot of them at the 2-month mark. We'll be more
they still
open
allow
to
that.
Well, they do, and we're getting them. We're getting all of them.
Yes.
So we would be more. We would
be.
be after 2 months. They do a lot, so we'd be more willing to take them out to places. That would be really cool, so everyone gets to meet little Luca.
All right, so let's get to this week's contest. We have a winner, and it's a fun one because it's a guy who usually doesn't even get the restaurant right. And I scratched my head because he's a very savvy gambler. He's a good friend of the show. But let's go over the restaurant, which 150th week of the contest, and I can't believe we've never used this as a contest clue, especially because we've had a couple of Stone Crab seasons open. Joe Stone Crab was the answer. And then we moved on to the featured contest race, which was part of the Florida Sire Series, they call it, a quality crop of 11 2-year-olds at Gulfstream, and it was a $200,000 stakes race. It was won by number 11, Cozy Light, and it was actually went off as the favorite, 7-2 favorite, lukewarm in a wide open field. But out of like almost 40 contest entrants, only one person picked the favorite, and that one person was number 11, Cozy Light, and our friend Sheldon G. Sheldon Glass, you are the winner of this week's contest. You didn't even have to go to the Dolphins Cleveland tiebreaker, but for good measure, Sheldon, because you are an astute gambler and you realize how putrid the Dolphins are. He had the Browns winning by like 8 points, and he had the point total. Didn't even need that. He was the only one who had the horse race. So Sheldon G, you are this week's winner.
Yeah, congrats, my
And
friend.
since nobody else had the horse, I'm not giving away a runner-up package this week. We're going to wait
Oh,
till
no
next
one-
week.
Also, no one had. Oh, yeah. If you don't have the horse,
You don't
and we
have-
didn't need a
You know,
tiebreaker, then what did they
restaurant,
win?
You know, I'm not going to go to the second place horse.
Well, everyone had the right. Yeah.
Again, we have
Ah,
the,
no,
the,
good for
the
you. No.
runner-up next week. You'll still get a choice of either a Taco Craft gift card or a Blue Collar gift card.
Yeah, there was no
Last week-
runner-up.
Last week's runner-up was Arthur Maines, and he chose the Blue Collar gift card, which is great because we're going to be at Blue Collar tomorrow at 12:30 in Miami. Later in the week, we're going to be at Even Keel Fish Shack in Lauderdale by the Sea on Wednesday. It's going to be a 2 p.m. start, but come on out. They've got some new menu items for the fall season, and it's stone crab season, so they'll have stone crabs at Even Keel.
Yep.
Thursday, we're still trying to confirm, but I think we're going to be at Shenanigans, where we might have to not talk about football for a
Oh
whole
my
hour.
God. Oh my God.
And then Friday, we'll
Oh
be
my
back at
God.
10 Palms at Gulfstream. It's going to be another fun week. All right, here it is. I tried to
There's not
avoid
much to
it.
say.
I put it off to the end,
There's not much to
but I
say about
am
any of
going to
it.
give you a multiple choice question.
Okay.
Lubie.
All right.
Which, who wore it best?
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
wore
yeah.
it worst? Which was the worst result of the
Uh-huh.
weekend in football? Was it FSU's unfathomable loss out West Coast in the middle of the night to Stanford?
Yeah, Stanford's really bad.
Or UM's
Mm.
season? Well, again, the perfect season dreams are over
Over,
for
yeah.
UM. They
Yeah.
lose at home to
Yeah.
Louisville.
And Louisville's, but look, Louisville's solid.
And, or was it the Dolphins Browns debacle?
I mean, I'd say Dolphins Browns because they're both like I don't
UM
know.
could still get into the playoffs.
And Louisville's
But
a good
they
team.
won't. They
Louisville's a
can-
good team. It was a close game. They actually had a chance to win.
Yeah, but boy,
to tie
did
win
they,
it.
that
No,
was
I
a
mean,
horrendous ending.
well,
as
crystal
usual.
ball is crystal ball, but at least it was a close game versus a good team. So I would
Yeah,
take them
but when
off of
Carson
it.
Beck is already having a shaky night,
Yeah, no, you run the ball
to,
there.
to throw it
Just
in
run
the
it.
middle of the field, it wasn't even
Yeah.
an out pattern. It wasn't even to the end zone. It was right
Just-
over the middle, and
just-
it was
just run it.
bad.
I mean, you just run it. But whatever. I mean, crystal ball is crystal ball. I've been very clear how I feel. but
FSU is a lost cause. They've now
I-
lost 3 in a row,
I-
right? 3, 4. I've lost
This now
track.
four
Four in a row,
So
and they're done. Does Norvell still have a job?
well, that's annoying that he still does have a job. They actually came out with one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard today, and it actually,
Oh, really? I heard that he was going to be gone today.
well, everyone thought he was going to be gone today, and then they came out with one of those dumbass statements that is actually because usually the vote of confidence in the professional ranks means the guy's going to get fired the next week. It wasn't a vote of confidence. It was weird. It's like we're going to assess the team at the end of the year, so we're behind Norvell now. It's like okay. So you're going to fire him at the end of the year? Then why are you keeping him now?
No, they're going to fire him after he loses to Florida.
I-
guess
look,
that's-
yeah, well, I think he-
wait till the
I think he should be long gone. I don't know. FSU, Miami Dolphins, maybe a tie at this point because I was leaning Dolphins are the worst because I don't trust them to do the right thing. And I was like, at least FSU is swift to make action. Now that statement came out today, I actually don't know which way to go because both Mike McDaniel and Mike Norvell look lost. Both Mike McDaniel and Mike Norvell look like they've lost their teams, and both of them are playing less competition and playing down to the less
Oh, yeah.
competition.
It
The
used to
only
be
thing is-
Dolphins would beat the bad teams and
Yes.
lose to the good teams.
I
Now they
guess at
can't
least
beat
FSU was
anybody
in it, and
except the
honestly,
Jets.
they did score at the end versus a horrible team. Whereas and they were like across the country and all that. Whereas the Browns are just as bad as the Dolphins, and they dominate. They
They
worked them.
dominant. It
So I
was,
would say
you know,
that I
it
guess
was
the Dolphins
in
is worse if you're making me
Cleveland.
do that.
The weather was not as bad as predicted.
No.
But so here's my thing. So you know me this year. I'm actually in the Schadenfreude
Yes.
mode where I am
You're getting your wish every
gleeful
week.
about, and I'm saying you basically can't lose money by betting against the
No.
Dolphins. I think they beat the spread against San Diego, but otherwise they've been just piss poor, except
Yes.
the Jets victory. But otherwise, I think
No,
they've gotten pounded every
these are
week.
teams they're supposed to be.
And I was laughing.
The Browns are the favorite in this
because
game, so I guess
the Dave Hyde wrote a column that appeared, I guess, online yesterday after the game, saying, now it's not a matter of if,
it's
it's a
when.
matter of when.
yeah.
But the headline, the subhead was, one of Miami's worst losses in years. And I looked at the headlines like, no, you mean one of the worst losses in weeks because they've had
Yeah, which
horrendous.
ones,
I mean,
yeah.
to blow a 17-point
Versus the
lead
Panthers
against
team.
the Panthers,
Yep.
to come back and seemingly pull out a win against the Chargers
have it taken from
and
you.
have it taken from you, and then to have this
Yes.
absolute drubbing where Tua looks lost.
Well, and the
confused,
Browns, it's not like they
and
put
talk-
up a lot of yards. It was all on
it was
the
a
ground.
pathetic offense. Every facet of the Dolphin team sucks.
Yes.
And And I didn't want to, say anything to Defoe last week, but where he was saying
Yeah,
it was the
losing
lock of
town
the
was weird.
century,
Yeah.
that he didn't think it was possible for the Dolphins to lose to
Over
the
there.
lowly Browns. Have you been watching this team every week? I know it's trite, and I say it's
Well,
a
you
cliche,
hope
but
they'll
good
turn it
teams
around.
good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose.
Yeah.
This is a horrible
Horrible
team,
team, yep.
and they find new, inventive,
Yeah.
terrible ways to lose. And this week, it wasn't a game at any point.
Ever.
It just sucked. It was 3-3.
Yeah.
And then they get outscored 28-3 after that point.
Yep.
Miserable.
Yep.
Interceptions, fumbles near the end zone.
Yes.
Tua is just a lost soul. Could
Yeah,
you
I
have
know,
more
he's rough.
fun? Like, I would
He's
rather
rough.
take $250 million,
Yeah.
either put it in a big bonfire and just set it on flame, or go to Vegas and just put it all on red or black.
Yeah,
250 million.
yeah.
I mean,
Down the top. No, look, I was one of the Tua guys. I was one that said you got to give him the extension. He's playing at a level commiserate to that type of money. And from that point on, he hasn't ever done that again. So I've at least admitted I was wrong. And I've admitted that his time's done. McDaniel, in his latest incoherent press conference, I guess, threw in there that Tua is not automatically the starter. I mean, it's not like Quinn Ewers going to do a better job. I don't know what. Look, I'm surrounded by really bad football.
nothing is working now, and now it's infecting the other teams too,
Yes.
because
The Panthers have lost 4 in a row.
look a little bit
Yes.
shaky.
The Canes lose a
and-
game when they weren't undefeated yet.
And you've got the Heat going through
Heat
a
were
winless
winless.
preseason. Not that preseason matters,
Yeah, but you want to get one. You want to throw one stupid win in there. There's a lot of losing going on. So I don't know. Thank God for places like Eddie and Vinny's to keep our spirits.
Food and wine is where food and beverage is. It's a lot better. I can't imagine. Again, I was entertaining thoughts of Val and I going to Spain for the Dolphins game. But
I mean, I'd go to Spain, but I would be far away from that stadium.
no, I mean, we're going to go. I think we're now re-aiming our thoughts for springtime trip
Nice.
to Europe.
Perfect time. Nice.
But
That's when we went. It was beautiful.
yeah, I was thinking that maybe the Dolphins would keep, McDaniel until Spain and just leave him there and say, take a little vacation,
Yeah,
Mike. How
bye-bye.
about take the rest of the decade off? We'll pay you off, and that's it. And I don't even know what's next. I don't know how you start rebuilding a franchise where you've utterly lost half a decade with putting your eggs in a pile that included a quarterback that's defective.
He's not it.
Ever since he got I don't want to blame it on the concussions, but he's just not been the same.
He's not. Look, the injury was already an issue. Now his level of play is just falling. I mean, the turnovers are. If you don't have the big arm, if you're not mobile, you can't turn it over.
Bad
too,
decisions.
He's just not that.
No mobility.
My problem is in action. And I get it. The bad organizations turn things over
pajamas.
every. Yeah, but it's been 4 years. This is the 4th year. Same thing with Mike Norvell. This is year 6. When you get into multiples of years and it's just not working, to do
I've lost
nothing is the
track.
worst thing to me.
This is McDaniel's 4th.
This is
season.
Greer's supposed 10th year, even though he's really been in 15 to 20 years. It's McDaniel's 4th year. It's Tua's 6th year.
6 year for Tua.
Yeah, no, it's done. Most people have admitted. I'm curious if he's a starter in the league. He's had a lot of different health stuff that wears you down. He's a smaller dude.
Yep.
He's a guy that has those health issues, and he doesn't have a big arm. And he's not athletic. So to find where he fits in this league is hard for someone who's been behind him the entire. It's the first and only pick the Dolphins have ever made my entire life that I was excited about. I yelled. I remember being upstairs at our old townhouse, and Shirley's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "They did it. They got Tua." I was that excited about this draft
And
pick.
I was not excited.
No,
You know
because
why?
you said all this stuff. You saw this stuff
Yeah,
ahead
I
of time.
thought he had limited. Again, and that was even before he started having
The concussions were never an
issue.
issue in college. Yeah.
But to me, I wasn't sold on the guy, and I hate all things Alabama. And the
Yeah.
fact that he came out of that Alabama Nick Saban football factory, I look, they've had a lot of good big league talent,
Yep.
but not so much with quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, but Hurts is the only one that's really had any success, and even Hurts we're now seeing is more of a product of that
Yeah.
team's talent than it's Jalen Hurts.
I'll take a lineman or a cornerback from Bama,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know about the.
Well, you guys were right. I was wrong. But at some point, you have to. The good organizations cut bait. That's the thing.
Yeah, they
And the
don't give
Dolphins
him-
don't. Yeah,
they
the
don't give
Dolphins
him
don't. They gave him the
multi-year
extension. They gave. When
franchise.
McDaniel got an extension last year, it's like the dude. What has he done to get an extension?
So, I think people should take a lesson from me and just turn that frown
Yeah, don't-
upside down and learn to enjoy the misery and just say, what new devilish
Well, wait, can they
ways
lose now?
can they
Yeah.
lose this week?
Yeah.
Because, God,
Yeah.
the rest of the
Do they have a
season
bye?
is just
they look
But they
like
start
the
playing
most,
better teams too.
and thank God for the Jets, because you
Yeah.
could just look at the Jets and say, well, we beat that.
They did beat them, yeah.
And that's
I
worse
don't know
than
what
us.
that does.
There's a lot of bad teams in the league.
See, and the
now.
Falcons aren't horrible, so they play them. And now they're starting to play the teams that are actually decent. The Ravens are, by then they may have Lamar Jackson back, so they may be a different team. I don't know, man. I to me, it's hard. I mean, I'm the kind of guy, anyone who know me or follow me, that's a fan through and through, even when my teams are bad. But when you are just sitting in the bad, that's what bothers me. Like Florida State, to me, if they had said, okay, we just can't do this anymore, or if they had made changes, go to the young guys, right? Like when you're not winning with older guys, go young. Just see if they can give you a
Yeah,
spark.
who's got what?
Like,
Who's
do
got
that.
some
The Dolphins
future?
do the same thing. Like it's just there's a lot of inaction and inactivity, and that's what bothers me, especially when it comes to sports. And you don't see that around the rest of the leagues, but for some reason, the Dolphins, especially Stephen Ross, has like this thing about loyalty, which again I
didn't
wouldn't have
realize
a problem with, but
I didn't realize he's 85.
No, he's older,
I
yeah.
talked about
Yeah,
in
yeah.
his column that he was shuffling down the corridors in Cleveland yesterday with his entourage, and he's an 85-year-old guy who has not had any success with this football team. I mean, they've made the playoffs and lost in the first round
Yep.
a couple times, but
Yep.
this franchise has not won a playoff game since 2000,
Yes.
2001,
Yes.
January of 2001.
Yeah.
Almost this entire century.
Yeah, it's
and
25
we're
years.
already at 2026. It's bad.
it's bad.
It's bad. So
And
anyway,
who knows when it's going to get better?
all right. Well, that's going to do it for today. Oh, and we got Game 7 tonight, which I am excited because look, I always root for the best story, and the best story is the Seattle
Never making a
Mariners
World
have
Series.
never made it to a World Series. They've only been in one ALCS, and they lost it. So I want to see them. Whoever wins is going to get slaughtered
the
by the
Dodgers
Dodgers.
are
Are just a, they're just
They're
a
like a freight train.
machine.
Yeah.
But yeah, go Seattle. Hoorah.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
Thumbs.
enjoy the rest of the day, everybody. Enjoy some time with Luca
Thank you,
and
sir.
enjoy every sandwich.